Hey guys, so I am here to bring you a much needed update on my home buying journey. So I'm here to bring you two separate videos today. So one video is going to talk about how you go about choosing kind of a mortgage banker and like how that whole ordeal works. And then the second one will be about my actual house, the house that I'm going to be buying. So I'm going to jump right into this video right here. Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys a bit about like finding a mortgage lender, that entire process. I'm going to tell you guys a couple of tips first, and then I'm going to get into like my personal experience because it was just real crazy. Like I learned so a lot of these tips I learned at the class, and then some of it I also learned the hard way through personal experience. So at the class, they said the most important things to do when you are going after finding a mortgage lender, like after you've educated yourself, before you can even start looking for houses, you really need to kind of sort out who your mortgage lender is going to be, because most realtors won't take you like seriously unless you have some kind of pre-approval or pre-qualification letter. Those are two separate things. So one, the pre-qualification is less formal than a pre-approval. Pre-qualification is kind of loosely based on like the things you've told the banker, whereas the pre-approval has a little bit more like background, like they really looked into you and was like, all right, we trust her a little bit, so we said we would approve her for this. But both letters are still pretty suitable for most realtors to show you stuff. So you need to get that letter, but you can't get that letter without going through a bank. So when you do start contacting mortgage lenders, the suggestion is you do 3 to 4 different banks, because you kind of want to shop around, because essentially, I mean, a loan is a loan. Especially if you are going through like a program because you're trying to get like grant money like I am, first thing you need to do before you even start contacting banks is look up what banks have that program you specifically want to use. You want to make sure that whatever bank you're reaching out to offers that program. And if you aren't sure, most of the programs do have it listed somewhere on their website, but you will always call and ask one of the mortgage lenders, and they should be more than happy to help you. But if they ain't, cross them off your list right away. But you want to make sure that whatever bank you contacted has the program that you're looking for. And so after you have narrowed down your list of banks, then you have 10 to 15 days, and it does vary, so there are various rules on it, but she said at the class to go with most banks give you 15 days like before, where when you go to the bank, they're going to do like a credit inquiry on you. So you have to get all of the different banks you're going to talk to within 10 to 15 days, so it only counts as one inquiry against your credit score instead of multiple inquiries. She said try to do it within the 10 days because different banks have different rules depending on what system they are using for your credit score. So that's why you start off with a list of potential banks. So you have 10 days to talk to everybody and determine kind of who you want to go with. So when you pick this list of banks, and I picked 3 banks, I think I picked 4, but I couldn't even get in contact with one of them. I can't even remember who it was at this point. So I ended up going with 3 banks where I reached out to people, and I had 3 totally different experiences, which I'm going to tell you guys about, so just be patient. So you pick out your banks or whatever, and then you contact them. So when you contact the banks, overall, this is the generic information you're going to use. The number of months of statements you need vary depending on bank, but you need pay stubs. They want to see that you've been employed at the same place. They might want employment verification for you. They are also going to want W-2s, federal tax returns, bank statements, copy of your ID, permission to run your credit check. So they basically want to find out that you are who you say you are, and that you got some money associated with your name, and you ain't got a whole bunch of debt, so that basically when you get the debt from them, you'll be able to pay them their money. So that's all they really care about. So you're going to need all this personal information, and like I said, it varies by bank. If you need 2 months of pay stubs, 3 months of pay stubs, or how many ever bank statements you're going to need, they will let you know when you contact them or on their website if you fill it out online. So once you get all of that, you approach your bank, you fill out whatever it is they want, you talk to whoever it is, and then they should be letting you know, all the programs available to them. Any questions you have, they should thoroughly answer them and make sure you have a clear understanding. If you need help or assistance with anything, they should be able to offer you advice. They should be able to do a lot of things with you, kind of educational, but also, you know, basically just help you through the process, because it's a big process. And so they should be able to do all of those things with you. So if you talk to somebody and you ain't getting no good vibe, then walk away, because at the end of the day, you're paying them to help you. So when you get your mortgage, believe me when I say they're gonna get a cut of that pie. So they're gonna make some money off of you. So you make sure you picking somebody who is gonna be good. So with that being said, I'm going to tell y'all about my various banking struggles and tragedies until I found the right one. So I went to 3 different banks. The first bank I went to was Marquette Bank, and I won't disclose anybody's name because that seems kind of bogus. So I went to Marquette Bank because I heard a lot of good things about them, and my boyfriend banks with them, and they sent him a paper talking about all the programs they have. And so I already knew that they had the program that I was looking for, the IDA loan. I already knew they had that. So I went there and he was like, oh yeah, I could get you all this grant money, girl. You know, based on everything you're telling me, yeah, you qualify for all of this money. Everything's going to be great. But from the jump, I kind of had, like, I was really excited, and he's my first one, so I had a lot of questions, of course. And he did answer them, but he kind of gave me, like, half-ass answers. Like, they were, like, answers, but not really thorough answers. But I didn't know any better at the time. I thought that he was, like, you know, looking out for me or whatever. And so he's answering my questions. And I'm trying to set up a meeting, like a face-to-face meeting, because when I get to talking, I have a billion questions. I want to know everything. I want to know from A to Z, Z to A, 1 through 1,000, 1 through infinity. I want to know everything. And so I'm trying to set this meeting, and my first red flag sign should have been how he kept dodging that meeting. He was like, oh, I just called you. Like I said, oh, when are you available so I can come in, because I can leave work early. I'll come on a Saturday. You let me know. And he kept dodging me. He, like, will call me, and we would be on the phone for less than 5 minutes each time he would call. And, you know, at this point, I should have known, but I didn't get pissed, and I didn't say, oh my goodness, you know, you really, because at this point, I hadn't reached out to, it's only been a couple days. It's very dramatized because I'm dramatic, but it's only been a couple days. But at this point, he didn't piss me off. So it wasn't like I got pissed off where I remembered the advice from my class about shopping around. He pissed me off because he told me he was going to send me a letter. He never sent the letter, the pre-qualification letter, and it didn't matter to me because I already have the house that I'm going to buy. But I still felt some kind of way, because if you say you're going to do something, if you tell me you're going to do something, and this is just in general, you better darn well do it, or else I'm going to be upset because I'm expecting you to do something. And so at that point, I just felt like he wasn't a man of his word, and then I felt like he wasn't really communicating with me like that, and so I felt some kind of way. And so I said, all right, so you need to get to shopping around. So next, I contacted BMO Harris Bank. And this is just to build up, y'all, to like the one for me. So I contacted BMO Harris Bank, and I really don't have any serious beef with them. So I looked them up online, and I was like, oh, cool, you can schedule an appointment face to face. Because at this point, I just want to really talk to someone. I have all these questions, and I felt like he was answering me, but at the same time, he wasn't answering me. And I'm like, I need to get up in somebody's face with my list of questions, my pen and paper, and, you know, get down to business. And so I contacted them through their online form. I scheduled a Saturday appointment, which was amazing because I get off work too late for, you know, the typical early appointment. And so what happens? The appointment, she emails me like, I can't make it. The appointment falls through. So I'm like, well, when do you want to reschedule? And she never responds. And I was like, well, that's out. And so now we on our last leg, y'all. So we go to First Midwest Bank. The banker there is awesome. So this is how I know what you should get when you go. And this is what I'm going to tell you. You should get somebody who has an answer for everything. He should be able to tell you the lookup, because I had the property address. He lives at the property taxes on the spot. He gave me, based on what I thought the selling price was going to be, he gave me the principal versus interest. He told me where places I can go to like get a really good rate on insurance. Like, he answered all of my questions. He gave me contacts for people I need to get in contact with, like a lawyer, like all kinds of stuff. Like, he answered every single question from A to Z. He was very thorough. He reiterated stuff that I learned in the class, like about the debt to income ratio, about how like when you go to get a house, you want your credit score to be as good as possible, and that you don't want to raise your debt levels because it's all going to affect like your mortgage. Like, he went into every single thing, and that is what you want from a mortgage maker. You want somebody who is going to be there, because essentially however long that loan is, 15 years, 30 years, however long that loan term is, that is how long you are going to be working with maybe not this specific person, but with this bank. And so you want somewhere that encourages awesome customer service, that definitely caters to you and your questions and kind of keeps things simple. And, you know, he explained to me, he said, even if you don't go with me, somebody promising you the sun and moon, watch out for them, because they're probably a liar, because like with a lot of these grant programs, like interest rates are set. With some of the grant programs, certain things don't qualify, and these are things I did not know. I asked about them, but it was never really explained to him when I talked to the previous person. So he explained all these things to me and talked to me about like appraisal, how to get things done, when I needed to get things submitted. And so it was just an awesome experience. And when I say God will line stuff up so that you see the low of the low, so that when you find the right one, you know this is the one. I told my sister she should date the man. That's how good he was on the phone. And at this point, like this whole time, I've been trying to get up in somebody's face. And the very first day when I submitted my stuff online just to get in contact with him, he called me. We talked on the phone for like 30 minutes. Like, it was just an amazing experience. At this point, like, he was so thorough, I didn't even feel the need to set a face-to-face appointment in that moment anymore, because I felt really comfortable and confident in the banker I was going through. So that is what is really important when you are getting a mortgage banker. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I will be happy to help and assist you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like this video, as well as subscribe to my channel to keep up with all of the housing updates.